Hello, gentle viewers, and welcome to another episode of Alistair Reviews It. And today we are back reviewing the third episode of WandaVision. I'm here with my guest and co-star and husband, Zachary Patton Garcia.
Yes, so we are going to be covering, like you said, the third episode of WandaVision. Spoiler talk from here on out. So if you haven't seen the show yet, go on and check it out. And you can check out the first two episodes. We did in one episode, one review for the first two episodes, down in the link below or in the description box.
It'll be in the description box.
So let's get into it, shall we?
So this was the first episode that we've seen so far that was completely colorized.
Yes, there's a few things that are different about this episode. So I noticed a lot of people saying that the first three episodes probably should have been released as a set instead of just the first two, because the first two, for people like me who love, older sitcoms and really appreciate like all of the little tricks and things they did to set up those black and white episodes. Like it's a little treat for me, but I can see the complaint of it being a little bit slow to get started, and there's only a few little kind of nuggets in there. But this episode, things are really happening in this episode now.
They're starting to ramp up. The first two episodes were very sitcom-y. Like, what would you do with Marvel if it was a sitcom? And I liked the first two episodes. I think they established something like a base to grow from.
Agreed.
And in this episode is when stuff starts to really happen. We had tiny nuggets of things in the last two episodes, but in this episode is where stuff starts to really happen. But I want to talk about the intros for all three episodes have been period specific and inspired by a different show. For the first one was Dick Van Dyke. The second one was Bewitched. And for this episode,
it's very Brady Bunch.
Was a Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Very 70s.
Is it supposed to be the Brady Bunch?
I think it was the Brady Bunch.
I kind of wish they would have used everybody else's little pictures in it too. Like Emma Caulfield could have been in there, and Emma Caulfield could have been like looking up at somebody. They could have done like the grid, just like the Brady Bunch does. But it's really nice, and I love the colorized 70s setting and all the outfits and stuff. Like, I think this one is my favorite.
Oh, the aesthetic was amazing. Yeah. I love the house. I really love the house.
Yeah.
And the style and the clothing, everything was very, very period specific.
Yeah.
And I know we talked to somebody who works on the show, and they went through a lot of effort to make everything super period specific.
Yeah.
Clothing, design, materials, angles, everything was very period specific.
So Wanda and Vision, they have a baby now, or they have two babies.
Well, I mean, yeah,
yeah. Like the plot of the episode is that Wanda is now pregnant, and her bump is just growing at a really rapid rate, and within like 30 minutes she's already given birth to twins.
Well, it was 12 hours. They called it a 12-hour pregnancy. Yeah. 9 months and 12 hours. So it was definitely very fast.
Yeah. It was something. It was a really good. I liked her birthing scene too. I liked that it was Geraldine helping her instead of the doctor. I really like Geraldine, and I really like Geraldine after this episode. I'm really stoked to see what's gonna happen with her.
Who people are suspecting is Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. So I'm going with that. And I looked on the Wikipedia page because I wanted to make sure that I got Geraldine's name right, the actress's name. And it doesn't even say next to the actress's name Geraldine anymore. It says Monica Rambeau.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does. It does.
So Monica Rambeau, for people who don't know, she has phasing powers, so she can control like electric fields and stuff. Mm-hmm. So if everything within that area is protected by like an electric or something field, then it makes sense that she would be able to break into that field where other people might not be able to.
Yes, and also Monica Rambeau is the daughter of the Air Force pilot who is friends with Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel, right? Correct.
I think so.
I did read it. Okay.
I need to.
I am the casual.
Verify that.
I'm the casual superhero fan. Say it in every episode, but I have been doing research going into WandaVision because I feel like this show is not for the casual superhero fan, so I feel like I need to know a little bit more.
It is and it isn't. It's for both. You can enjoy it surface level. You can enjoy surface level.
Yes.
But if you want to know more, there's a lot of really deep nuggets.
There are a lot of like really. There's a lot of context in some of the things that happen, and it's important to know that context. And so when you think of Monica Rambeau. Well, no casual superhero fan is thinking Monica Rambeau because we don't know who that is. So I now know Monica Rambeau, and I'm excited to see Monica Rambeau come into the show and like really like I don't know do something because
Well,
okay
I mean, we're still getting into it, but I want to say the 12-hour pregnancy. I loved it. I loved the
yeah
quirkiness of what was going on the entire time, and so I could tell that she had magic babies in her stomach because magic stuff was happening all the time, and it actually kind of gave me Charmed vibes when
well
Piper was pregnant.
that always seems to happen when there's
And
like a witch pregnant or something. The
pregnant, the
baby
baby
always
starts
like
doing magic from the
yeah.
womb.
So it's very zany, quirky.
So I like that, and they had a lot of weird magic stuff that was going on, and they were trying to hide everything. Sorry, they were trying to hide everything from the neighbors while they were doing stuff, and the neighbors were being sketchy,
Oh, the neighbors are
super
so sketchy
sketchy.
in this one. The neighbors are like weirdly interested in what's going on in the house next door. They are whispering about this couple, whispering about Wanda and Vision. I don't know. There's a lot of like weirdness, and then everybody's pointing out how Geraldine is so weird,
She
and
doesn't have a
so
house. She doesn't have family there,
yeah. So
and
so to this world. It seems like we're getting hints that Geraldine is an infiltrator. She's infiltrating this world, and she's not naturally supposed to be there. And by the end of the episode, it's kind of we've kind of almost confirmed that because Geraldine is removed from the world, and she ends up back in, I guess, our reality. And there's
what you can tell by the way they changed the ratio of the
yeah.
TV.
Oh, that was a really great touch. I
It
loved
was
how
they have a
yeah.
very small, like very nice touches. As the ratio is like she's back.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it's Wanda who's. But it didn't confirm this. So it's supposed to be Wanda who sent her back, right? Is what we're supposed
It
to
is Wanda
believe.
who sent her back.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Because, or was she brought back? Did she send herself back? Or was she pulled back and then they kind of reset Wanda to forget that she was right there in the first place?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's still a little bit confusing for me.
No, because Wanda got really
Okay.
pissed off.
Yeah.
First time we saw Wanda, I think I was legitimately scared for Geraldine.
Oh, she
Well,
was giving some looks.
we're talking about this without even talking about the context of it.
Yeah.
So she has her babies, right?
Yes.
Who are twins, and she talks about how she was twins, and then Geraldine was like, "Wait, Pietro, wasn't he killed by Ultron?" And she's like, "What did you just say to
this
me?"
weird moment where it kind of seems like
It's out of the sitcom. It's like we taking a step out of
and
the sitcom.
it's anytime we've come out of the sitcom or we start pulling Wanda out of the sitcom, she starts to kind of come to almost like Vision starts telling her that things don't seem right, and he's pointing out, hey, something's wrong here, and then immediately like we jump back just a couple seconds, and then the whole scene plays again, but he's saying now. Oh, I'm just so happy about these babies, and like it goes back to being
It's
perfect.
like a
So
correction.
somebody, I don't know if it's Wanda or somebody else, but something is resetting her every single time she starts to really uh, come to realizations or come to conclusions or start to figure things out, and then um, Geraldine starts helping her to figure things out, and then Geraldine is removed. So
And I'm pretty sure that's Wanda who does those setbacks. Because in the first one, she said no, which harkens back to her, like, I guess, iconic line. Somebody
Yeah.
told me the no more mutants, and then there was no mutants. But she just said no, and something happened. So when she wants something, she affects reality, and that thing happens. It just looks different in those first episodes than it does in
Yeah.
this one because of how things are changing. But whenever she's very upset about Geraldine bringing up Pietro, and you can see Geraldine is very concerned for her life, and she ejects her from the whatever area, I guess House of M neighborhood, and when she's ejected, she's covered in Wanda's power. That's how you know it's Wanda. And
Is
plus,
she covered in that? Oh,
yeah, she's covered in Wanda's power, and
she's
she's ejected. It's not like she
Okay.
walks out; she's completely ejected.
Well, I know that she's ejected. I remember seeing her ejected up, and then when we step away from this sitcom in Wanda's mind, the aspect ratio changes, and so I thought that was a perfect way to end the episode because now we're seeing the sort of differentiated reality versus Wanda's head or the simulation or whatever the heck is going on. And it's really like now we're starting to pick up speed, and we're going. So I'm really stoked to see where we're gonna get to at this point. It was a pretty self-contained episode, you know. I mean, I guess the whole thing. Yeah, third episode, we take place mostly at their house, really only at their house.
Well, it's all one set. It all takes place at one set because it's their new gorgeous house.
Yeah.
Very Brady Bunch.
I
with
love
the
seeing
set in the back,
a new set every single episode. I'm all about it.
the fake grass in front, and then you could tell like it's a studio, whatever. You know, they put up like the studio banners for outside, and the neighbor, just like a lot of sitcoms, is just outside of behind a wall, and he's supposed to be tree trimming, but he starts cutting down the wall, and then him and the other neighbor.
Catherine Hahn.
He and Catherine Hahn are talking about how, like, you know, Geraldine doesn't belong here, and it almost looks like he just starts cutting through his what is it called?
It's like they're trying
wall.
to
He's
get
cutting
into
through
this
his wall.
barrier, is what it feels like. They're trying to get into, because I guess it seems like, I don't know, this house, whatever WandaVision's house is during the episode, is always like a safe spot for them, and now we have people trying to infiltrate it. I don't know.
No, what I think is, I think the neighbor was stuck there,
Okay.
and I think that's why he was cutting through the
What do you mean he was stuck there? Stuck at that
at that place in the sitcom, because you know, in sitcoms, I keep on thinking of like
Okay.
what is it, Home Improvement or whatever,
That's what I was thinking of.
with the neighbor on the other side who's always on the other side no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, in this reality, you know, they're stuck wherever they would be stuck in a sort of sitcom like that.
Yeah.
But we did get one scene outside of that. Well, we got two scenes. We got the scene where Monica Rambeau was kicked out, and we got an excellent Dottie scene.
We did.
Where she
It was very quick.
it was very quick. She asked her husband if she looks fat, which she doesn't. And then the lights turn off because, you know, Wanda's babies are going crazy.
Yeah.
And then she gives birth to the babies, who are supposed to be Wiccan in speed, hopefully, if they draw it from the comics. And we're very excited about that.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a great episode overall. I was really, really happy to see some forward motion here, because I think after 2 episodes of the sitcoms, zany storylines, and little nuggets, we need something more now. You know, we need to get into the story. We need to get into what's going on, and
Well, I think things are going to get more chaotic.
We really did it here, and now I'm so curious to see what's going to be happening going forward, and how Monica Rambeau is going to come into play here. And she was wearing, when she was posing as Geraldine, she was wearing a necklace that is sword, correct?
Sword, yeah.
Sword, okay. And Wanda noticed that, right?
She's like, "What are you wearing?"
She noticed it, and so... I don't know. Is Geraldine, was Monica Rambeau trying to pull Wanda out of this sort of place that she's stuck in, or what's going on here? I don't know.
Why? Yeah, what was her reason for infiltration?
Yeah.
And
see, I think that also will go back to like what's in the comics and things like that. Like, what is Monica Rambeau's purpose anyway? I need to go and do some more research on Monica Rambeau and figure out like how she what her role is sort of in the comics, and what she sort of does.
And in this episode, you're starting to see a lot more self-awareness between people who are in these sitcoms. Like the doctor was going to go on his vacation, but then he's like, "Well, I'm sorry, but we couldn't leave because nobody can leave."
Nobody can leave.
Yeah.
Catherine Hahn, she's very self-aware as well, and she knows, like, she's trying to keep the other neighbor quiet.
And Vision's trying to figure out what's going on,
so that they don't say anything that's gonna, I don't know, trip up Wanda and Vision. There's a lot going on, y'all. There's a lot going on. This was like a 30-minute episode, so.
Okay, so we have that 12-hour pregnancy, but I do want to talk about real quick the fact that, you know, they might grow up in a Renesmee type way.
Oh gosh, it's so weird. It's creepy. Let's just.
That's probably what's going to happen. They're probably going to have them grow up in a Renesmee type way.
So in soap operas, they call that, like, it's like rapid aging syndrome or something like that, where you'll have, you know, I remember watching General Hospital, and Michael, Sonny and Carly's kid, was like a kid one season or one episode, and then, because they don't really do seasons, I guess, and then like a couple episodes later, he was like a full like teenager. So I'm guessing that's what they're gonna do here is rapid aging syndrome.
And we're like, oh, that's so quirky.
It's creepy. But
But I mean, I can tell that if they do want to use them in the MCU, Wiccan and Speed,
yeah.
they're gonna need to be aged up a little bit.
So what do you think is happening? What do you think is going on?
I think that this is her own reality, and I think that the people outside are observing what she's doing, and I think that she's kind of created this reality for herself.
Yeah.
I don't know how Vision's alive in this reality, and she did talk, and we got a really cool moment of her talking about her brother Pietro, which we talked about in our last episode, whether he's going to come back or not. But she said that he's dead
I think he's coming back
in this one, but I'm hoping that he comes back.
I think he's coming
I'm really
back.
hoping he comes back.
And I do think it is some sort of reality that she's created, and I think it's having some effects and some consequences on the real world. And I think that's why they're like, I don't know, that's why they're trying to pull her back or something like that. I do think it's going to play into the multiverse of madness.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
I 100% think that. I know, or have they confirmed anything like that? I think she's supposed to be in it, right?
I think a lot of people are theorizing it, and it just makes sense in terms of a lead into it. So I'm very excited. We didn't talk about the commercial. This time it was Hydra soap.
It was. The Hydra's very, very in there now.
So I symbolism. I don't know.
Something. Well, of course, that means something. It means something because it's like cleaning and like it's like being clean and
it's separate from everything. Like take a vacation,
calming yourself, and
away from reality.
Definitely away from reality is the perfect way to put it.
It was take a vacation away from reality. Yeah. Which is this what Wanda is doing?
It's exactly what Wanda's doing.
Dun, 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 dun.
So how does Hydra play into that? All right, are we?
Yeah, unless you have anything else.
I don't. All right. Well, leave you guys' predictions down in the comments below. Next week, Alistair's friend. We'll save it. We'll save it. There's going to be another guest next week for episode 4, and we're super stoked about that.
We're very, very excited. Watch it not happen. But I just want to say our Discord is open. If you guys want to have a conversation there, we're gonna have a conversation down in the comments down below because this is a spoiler version.
Yes.
And I cannot wait to catch up with you guys. Anything?
Nope. It's a fun show to watch. I'm loving learning more about this. I'm getting very into Scarlet Witch right now. So it's very nice for a new fan. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for watching.
Hasta luego. Bye.
Hasta luego.